Hey friends, welcome back to Rita Talks. I'm Rita, and on this YouTube channel I just share some of the thoughts, ideas that I've been thinking about, some of those things that have been going on in my life. And today was a beautiful Saturday, mostly a calm day, just resting, taking my time, enjoying watching some YouTube videos and having naps and stuff like this. And basically, I'm just trying to embrace this idea of somewhat slow productivity, this idea of taking a step back and allowing myself to do other things than work. And obviously, maybe I did something that did not correspond entirely with that this morning. But basically, I checked on my end-to-end run from my project, and it turns out it did not work. So, yeah, that was kind of a bummer, to be honest. But yeah, I just wanted to see what was the outcome of that, and unfortunately, it did not go as I wanted it to go. So, I'll have to take a look at that on Monday to figure out why it's going wrong. And yeah, that's something from my Monday self to worry about. But yeah, today was a beautiful Saturday. Did my usual, did some groceries, and then just like went to the gym. Did my rowing, which was fun. I actually was listening to a very interesting podcast episode with I think her name is basically it was on the Diary of a CEO podcast with Natalie something. I can tell you her name. Natalie. Like basically the episode is called The Pregnancy Doctor, and yeah, Dr. Natalie Crawford. And I really enjoyed this episode because it gave a lot of information about like how the human body works when it comes to fertility, etc. And this is obviously a very important topic for me because I really want to have kids someday, and I still have not found a partner yet, and that's okay. Some things take time, and I'm not in a hurry. And even if I don't find the right person, I'll still have kids. I don't care, honestly. I'll just have my own kids. It doesn't really matter. It's just really insightful to have all of these, like this information about basically how the body ages and how basically your age impacts your fertility. And I'm glad that I'm having this information while I'm 26 today. I'm 26 years old. I still have some time, but this is something that I really care a lot about. And so basically, like, I think I made like a deal with myself that if by the age of 30, I'm not married, I don't have a partner or something like that, I'll just freeze my eggs because I want to have kids and I want to maximize the likelihood of being able to have kids. I want to have a bunch of kids, actually. I want to have 2, 3, maybe 4 kids. And I think, like, maybe I don't want to have to worry about that yet at 26, but maybe at 28 I'll start looking into that, because every year matters when it comes to fertility, especially when you're a woman. And obviously, like, I'm not doing some of the factors that, thank God, that, you know, decrease fertility and the likelihood of a successful pregnancy, which I don't smoke, I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke marijuana, I try to take care of my body, I exercise, I I try to sleep well enough. Just trying to have all of my basics down, which are also the basics for living a long and healthy life. So thankfully, I'm maximizing my chances there. But still, it's also like a topic that's very loaded. So it's very, very helpful to have all of this information about basically the likelihood of pregnancy at 30 years old, the likelihood of pregnancy at 35, then at 40, etc. And just having that information to be able to make informed actions and decisions about an area that's so important. At least for me it is. So yeah, I'm glad this podcast episode provided so much information, and it feels good to be equipped with the right information to just maximize my chances of you know, having this happen, like having kids. So yeah, I'm really glad that that Stephen brought on this guest, and really happy with learning all of this information about the whole fertility journey and the kind of causes that lead to unsuccessful pregnancies, etc. So super interesting episode. I definitely recommend you go check it out on the Diary of a CEO podcast. So it's the episode with Dr. Natalie Crawford, and basically the title is the pregnancy doctor, and I think like the other subtitles are pregnancy halves every year after 32. If you want 2+ children, plus more than 2. If you want 2+ children, you need to know this. If you experience this pain, go see a doctor, etc. But that's just, you know, the marketing and like the wrapper around this episode. But the episode is really, really good. And I definitely recommend you go check it out, especially if this is something that's important to you. And it just gives so much information that's helpful to know. And the earlier you know about this, the more proactive you can be about this topic, because life goes on quite fast. And you don't want to have that regret of, especially if you want it, you don't want to have the regret of saying like, if only I knew, I would have done this and this. And yeah, that was really, really insightful for me. So yeah, that was kind of the highlight of my day. After that, I listened to another episode with secret agent Evie Pampuras, and I thought she has a very interesting approach to life. It kind of reminded me of the philosophy that Alex Hormozy preaches, which is an interesting philosophy. And it's all about basically taking ownership of your circumstances and basically owning the stuff, owning the stuff that's outside of your control, right? So basically some stuff happened to you, like maybe you're a woman, maybe you're a person of color, etc. And that because of, you know, just how the world is today will inevitably lead to like discrimination, etc. But I like the approach that she takes it as, and basically instead of taking that as an excuse, like I can't do this because I'm this ethnicity or I'm this gender, just taking full ownership of that, and taking responsibility. And basically it kind of reminds me of this quote, like, it's not my fault, but it's my problem. So basically it's something that you can be proactive about. And actually it kind of reminded me of this thing about statistics, is that like for example, statistics about women, statistics about people of color, etc., and like discrimination and like participation in different fields, etc. Actually, macro statistics don't apply at the individual level. So if you're someone from an underrepresented group, like I'm a woman who's from Morocco, and you know, like the fact that I'm a woman from Morocco, like yes, it gives me a higher likelihood for certain specific things, right? But it does not say anything about me as an individual. The macro does not translate into the micro, and actually it's non-predictive pretty much. And it's just like a statistical concept that like you cannot predict the behavior of an individual from the information that you have about the group. Because the information that you have about the group is aggregated information, and you cannot just immediately apply it to an individual level. Because at an individual level, you have way more agency than these statistics lead you to believe. And so just viewing that from that mathematical approach, which is not the approach that the guests on this podcast episode talked about, but that's just my interpretation, and tying it into the statistical explanation behind this, is that the forces that apply, like it's different scales, and so statistics are aggregates, and they cannot apply on the individual level, and they do not predict individual performance. So yeah, I just thought that was a very good way of doing things and like getting out of the victim mindset, like, oh, look at me, poor me, on all that stuff, and actually taking agency of your life, and taking actions that will put you in a better situation. And actually, it's just this feeling like when you take agency of your life, so much of how you approach life changes, and you start to view things in a completely different angle, and you start to view the world as something that you can shape rather than just something that's happening to you. Of course, there will always be things that will be outside of your control, but basically the idea is that you cannot control those things outside of your control, but you can definitely control the things that are within your control. And so just, I mean, it makes sense, like the sentence that I just said, but like, it's like, duh, come on, you can definitely control the things that are within your control. Like, yes, you can. That's like, you're just repeating the same thing. But the idea is focus all your energy on the things that are within your control, and don't spend any energy on things that are outside of your control. It's outside of my control, the fact that I'm a woman, and that I'm from Morocco, right? But what is within my control is my input, is the kind of things that I work on. It's the kind of effort that I put into the things that I work on. It's my mindset, it's the books that I read, it's the content that I listen to, how frequently I work out, whether like what kind of food I eat. That's all within my control, and I should only focus my energy on that and not on the things that I have no control over, like my gender, my race, ethnicity, etc. So I hope this made some sense. But I really liked this approach of taking agency, and owning the things that are outside of your control and completely accepting them, and then just moving on from them. Just not letting those things hold you back, and not letting those things dictate your potential. and the things that you're capable of, because that's something that you're in control of, and it's something that your mindset, that you can dictate from the mindset that you build, from the content that you consume, from the people that you surround yourself with. So yeah, that was just a very cool episode. I really liked her mindset overall, and yeah, that was a very enjoyable one. And after that, I listened to a podcast episode from the Founders podcast. So I think this is probably the first podcast episode that I listened to from this podcast. And basically, apparently, I think it was episode 349. Let me check. Yeah, 349. And basically, like what this podcast does, like this guy, in each of his episodes, he talks about insights from a specific book that he has read. And apparently he's a huge fan of Steve Jobs, and basically this was an episode on the book called Insanely Simple, The Obsession That Drives Apple's Success by Ken Segall. Segall, like Segall. That because I was reading it in my head like seagull, like I guess it's like a sea animal. I don't know. I guess I'm just rambling at this point. But anyway, I thought it was very cool. I loved how he kept stressing about simplicity. Like that was the whole premise of this episode, and I guess that was the whole premise of this book. Insanely Simple is basically talking about Steve Jobs' obsession, about simplicity, about boiling things down to their essence and doubling down on that essence. And that's something that I'm very drawn to, and that I'm learning I'm building the patience to cultivate, right? This relentless pursuit of simplicity, of making things slow, of boiling things down to their essence. So yeah, I think like he has made like 350 plus episodes, and each of them is about like a founder, and it's about a book about a founder. So he has read 351 books and summarized them on this podcast, which is very cool. That's very inspiring, and a lot of these books are on like their biographies, autobiographies, and just on learning from people who have achieved exceptional things and trying to understand like the patterns behind their high performance. So that's definitely the kind of stuff that I'm super interested in. I also love reading memoirs and stuff like this. So that was very surprising, and I'm glad this was in my recommendations, my automatic played recommendations, and I'm glad that I got to listen to this podcast on relentless obsession with simplicity and boiling things down to their essence. So yeah, that was my day, trying to embrace the slow life, to give myself a rest, and also some learnings here and there about different topics. So the first one, fertility, which is a pretty big topic, at least for me. It's something that's very important to me. I want to have kids at some point. The second one, about mindset and this whole idea of taking ownership of your life and not letting things that are outside of your control behave how you show, define you, and basically to take agency of your own life, regardless of the circumstances that you were born into, that you were given in this life, and just taking complete agency and ownership of that, and trying your very best to make the most that you can from whatever you've gotten in life. And last but not least, this idea of relentless simplicity and basically Steve Jobs' pursuit for relentless simplicity. So yeah, thanks a lot for tuning in today. You can click here to watch my previous video on this channel, it's the one right before this one, or you can click here to watch my latest video on the channel overall. Thanks again for tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic rest of day, night, whichever time of day it is where you are right now. Bye for now, and hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye!